What's going on, family? This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series. I want to take a look at a Mexican fighter by the name of Kid Azteca. Very good fighter. Born June 21st, 1913, Mexico City, Mexico. He died March 16, 2002 at the age of 88. Now he had total bouts of 252 fights, 192 wins, 114 KOs, 47 losses, 11 draws with 2 no contests. He boxed as a professional from 1932 to 1961. Now he was one of 4 fighters who fought for 4 decades. Now that's fascinating. Now here's your 4. Kid Azteca, Archie Moore, George Foreman, and Roberto Duran. These 4 fighters fought for 4 decades. That's basically all their lives. Now he roamed the streets of Mexico in a very tough neighborhood of Titico. It's a little city in Mexico, and they call it the Barrios. And you had to be a very tough person in order to survive in that neighborhood. Now, word has it that he might have been as young as 13 years of age when he turned professional, because the records show he began in 1928 to 1930. So if you do the math, he had to have been close to 13 years of age when he started his boxing career. And 4 fighters such as Sammy Angot defeated him in 10 rounds, June 26, 1950, El Paso, Texas. He fought Nick Moran, 1948, defeated him in 10 rounds, and fought him again and defeated him in 12 rounds. Arena Colazo, Mexico City. He would face Seferino Garcia, defeated him in 2 rounds, 1933, Olympic Auditorium, Los Angeles, California. Joe Click defeated him in 10 rounds, 1933, Mexico City. Tommy White knocked him out in 8 rounds, 1932 in Mexico City, Mexico. Battling Shaw defeated him in 10 rounds, 1932, Mexico City, Mexico. Fitzy Zivic defeated him in 10 rounds, 1939 in Houston, Texas. Pedro Ortega knocked him out in 1940, Mexico City, Mexico. Leon Zarita defeated him in 10 rounds, 1939, Mexico. Tommy Collins knocked him out in 7 rounds, 1935, in the American Allegiance in Texas. Now, Tommy Collins was the fighter who they decided to make a 3 knockdown rule because he fought a fighter by the name of Jimmy Carter, who was a 3-time lightweight champion. And after being knocked down about 8 times, they decided to come up with a rule called a 3 knockdown rule. And after you've been knocked down 3 times, they can't stop the fight. So that's Tommy Collins. Now, Kid Azteca would also face Coco Kid, fought him twice, defeated him twice, 1935 in Mexico City. Kenny Lasas defeated him twice, 10 rounds apiece. Total of 20 rounds, 1935, Mexico City. Paulie Walker, very good fighter, defeated him in 10 rounds, 1933 in Mexico City. Battling Shaw defeated him in 10 rounds, 1931 in Mexico. He would face Bobby Yeager, killed him in 5 rounds, 1947. Fitzy Zivic knocked him out in 5 rounds, fought him 3 times, 1947, Mexico City. Seferino Garcia, former middleweight champion, 1944, Mexico City. He would face Coco Kid again 2 more times, a no contest, and a 10-round draw, 1941, Mexico City, Mexico. Pedro Ortega knocked him out in 1940, Mexico City, Mexico. Fitzy Zivic again defeated him in 10 rounds, 1939, and Houston, Texas. You see, Kid Ortega was the real truth. He was an outstanding fighter, outstanding Mexican fighter, but an outstanding fighter. And I just wanted to pay homage to him. One of the greatest Mexican fighters of all time. Look up Kid Ortega. This is Scrapbook Boxing, Museum of the Forgotten Fisticuffs series, saying all great fighters and all great fights will never be forgotten on my channel. Salute to Kid Azteca. They don't make him like him anymore. Salute.